Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. Hope you are having a good day wherever you might be. Big news, big volatility in the crypto space right now. Bitcoin Cash getting added to GDAX. So everybody and their grandma is freaking the absolute hell out. Yee said, Bobby, stop waxing your hair get it on already. My hair is sufficiently waxed. I think my hair looks great. But I was actually... If you must know, I was crushing down pizza because I was in New York. I was at a real happy hour. I was hanging out with a couple of my buddies, and I saw the notification in Slack that Bitcoin Cash got added to GDAX. I looked at my phone. I looked at Blockfolio. I was all of a sudden significantly poorer, and then we went from there. So everybody freak out. Everybody panic because the world is ending right now, and you should sell everything you own and absolutely freak out because that's what everybody else is telling you, right? I'm just kidding. But crazy day in the world of crypto. Somebody said it's effing chaos right now, and yeah, let's say it's effing chaos. It is. It's a fun day in the crypto world. I mean, if you're in crypto and if you don't live for this, you're not living for the right thing because volatility is crypto and crypto is volatility. So we can go on. We can go on for that. So CoinBase, how is this not painting the tape on GDAX? I mean, right now on GDAX, all I see, I went into this, and all I see on GDAX is that, that $9,500 candle, which is probably not correct. Let me see if I can pull this bad boy back up and see what the heck is going on here. But so I just tried to reload GDAX, and this is what I'm getting right now. So the rate limit exceeded. GDAX is absolutely freaking out. So I'm sure you guys are getting this stuff as well. But outside of GDAX, I mean, we saw, I think, $8,500 Bitcoin Cash right now on Bittrex. I went out to Bittrex with US dollar tether. It's at $3,700. It has pumped up in the past, let's say in the last day. Bitcoin Cash started the day at Bitcoin Cash is up 71% on the day. Is what it is. Things are going absolutely nuts right now. I would say this, I don't personally own any Bitcoin Cash. I don't really care too much for some of the message that Bitcoin Cash might bring, but I've always encouraged people to say that Bitcoin Cash is a fantastic hedge against the whole Bitcoin Cash is a good hedge if you think that Bitcoin Cash could one day beat Bitcoin. I personally don't really think that, but we'll see what's happening there. Chris Kite, great to meet you in Vegas. Yeah, it was awesome, man. I really do appreciate that. Will you consider Bitcoin Cash the portfolio? I've always considered Bitcoin Cash the portfolio. I don't always love some of the message that the Bitcoin Cash community might bring, but I will always consider them to the portfolio. I just don't have it now. I mean, even in the video earlier today that I published about creating a diversified portfolio, I did mention Bitcoin Cash, and I did say that it was something that you would consider investing in if you like that. But I don't have any Bitcoin Cash right now. Obviously, I wish I did. I mean, anybody who's like, oh, F Bitcoin Cash, I hate it. Do you really want to turn down a 70% profit? I certainly don't. I absolutely would like a 70% profit. I just didn't have the foresight to make that choice. So, and sorry for maybe a lack of preparation here. Like I said, I was literally in Manhattan an hour and 15 minutes ago, and I sped home through the Lincoln Tunnel. And shout out to the guy in my favorite pizza place in Anthony Franco's. Somebody was like, yo, dude, don't you make YouTube videos? And I was so happy. And I was like, actually, I'd love to meet you in person, and I'd love to speak more to you, but I'm literally sprinting home to get on the crypto happy hour right now. So that was pretty cool. But they're doing wash sales on GDAX. Yeah, let's see. GDAX right now is just absolutely broken and destroyed. But it's up to $9,500, and it's just completely unfunctional right now on GDAX. And Rob Odo said crypto market is like a schizophrenic wife today. It's definitely possible. So I'm taking a look at some of these comments and just pound them through those. And if there's anything you absolutely must have answered, definitely let me know, and I will. If there's anything you must have answered, I will. We'll try to get to them as much as possible. But there are a lot of people in here, so throw it in a super chat if it absolutely must be answered. Other than that, I really do appreciate all the questions, all the comments. I'll try to get to as many things as possible here. And as far as what I'm drinking right now, it's a Poland Spring IPA. It's really crazy, getting hammered on it. I had two beers at happy hour, so enough going on right now that I have enough of a buzz off of what is happening in the crypto world, because this volatility is legit. Let me see if I can turn this volume off for you guys. There we go. So look at the bids in the ass. We'll take a look. So we have the order book here. It's 3,783 sells right now at the $8,500 price point and 64 buys. So the market would suggest that that might pop down a little bit. Not that many people, I guess, looking to buy here, but we'll have to see what ends up happening with GDAX and with CoinBase, because the market is obviously not as liquid as you might think. So certainly something to keep in mind there. So let's take a look here. VeChain, love this project, long-term hold. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I know a lot of different people that I know that are pretty in tune in the crypto industry have mentioned that have really strong positive opinions on positive opinions on VeChain. So I'm a big VeChain fan. Thank you, Dominic. I really do appreciate that. Very kind of you. And does the volatility have anything to do with the futures? I think the volatility, right now, let's pop over to CoinMarketCap maybe. The volatility at this point in time has quite a bit to do with Bitcoin Cash. This is really a Bitcoin Cash thing right now. And if you had the foresight to, I know a lot of people hate Bitcoin Cash. A lot of people love Bitcoin Cash. If you had the foresight to put your money into it, profit's profit. You're not investing. You're not... as much as people might love to, give you crap and say, Bitcoin Cash is the real Bitcoin, or Bitcoin Core is the real Bitcoin, or whatever, Bitcoin is the real Bitcoin. I don't really give a crap. The one thing I will say there is that, profit is profit, and you're not really investing in anything that dirty if you want to put your money in Bitcoin Cash. I don't have any money in Bitcoin Cash at all right now. I traded my B Cash away pretty early on. Probably not the best move. So some people are saying Bitcoin Cash info was leaked earlier in the day to some parties before it was released. The one thing, so I haven't done full research on this. Literally, this Bitcoin Cash stuff was on GDAX like an hour ago. I sprinted home from New York City. I got 2 slices of pizza. I ate both slices of pizza, and I've been trying to catch up on this stuff as much as possible. The one thing I would say is there's people already on Twitter threatening lawsuits against Coinbase and all these companies and all this stuff. The one thing I would say to that is, you can't say that you're like Mr. Decentralization and you're Mr. Anti-regulation, and the second you are Bitcoin, and trust me, I'm all in on Bitcoin and I'm not in on Bitcoin Cash at all, but you can't say that you're like Mr. Decentralization and that you are against government regulation and all that stuff, and then the second your investment gets crushed, go crying to the government to bring up tampering lawsuits and insider trading allegations against some company. That's a little bit, I think that's a little bit stupid, personally. So just because everything isn't going your way, I don't know. I think that's a little bit, is Joe Flacco an elite quarterback? Is Joe Flacco elite? I think that is, Mario, thank you, my man. I really do appreciate that. Very kind of you. Much love to you. But as far as Joe Flacco being elite, I think he was elite 5 years ago. I think Joe Flacco is past the elite point in time. So what investment got crushed? And I'm taking a look. In my Blockfolio right now, I lost. It's down quite a bit, but for the most part, it's not that crazy. And this is a point in time too where I think, as far as things go, let's look at Bitcoin, the real Bitcoin, Bitcoin Core, Bitcoin that I have most of my money in personally. But we'll take a look at this bad boy. And I mean, when people talk about buying the dips, this is where, do you have the stones to, do you have the stones to make that move? Do you have the stones to buy the dip? And Bitcoin went below $16,000 and dipped way below $15,000 at one point in time. And people bought that dip. That is the point in time that, number one, you have to be ready to go. You have to be aware of that. But yeah, I mean, when people talk about buying the dip, do you have the confidence to buy when things are going bad, when there's all this FUD? If you're a big Bitcoin fan, if you're a Bitcoin Cash fan, then fine. But Bitcoin was getting FUDded to the moon, or to the negative moon. So Bobby, you are going to lose so much money. Yes. That's me, brother. So looking at this, I mean, do you have the confidence? Do you have the stones to buy the dip? And there was a 10-minute window where the volatility was just absolutely nuts. And if you had the balls behind it, if you had the stones, then you've made some positive returns. Bitcoin is already back above $17,000. So and taking a look at these two super chats that came in. I'm McLovin. What is up? Super bad, my man. I got 59,000 coins of Verge. What are your thoughts on Verge? I mean, I think privacy coins are a legitimate opportunity. Whether you go with Monero, Zcash, or Verge, I think privacy coins are a smart move. Do you know anything about a cryptum called Bytum? My friend here in Norway got into it in late November. Same guy cashed out as hell on ETH this summer. Maybe something plus Verge. So another person mentioning Verge. I appreciate that, Austin. Probably butchered the pronunciation of your name. So Bytum has been around for a while. I mean, it's one of those cryptos that has been around since 2014 or so. And it is, I mean, as far as Bytum goes, it's one. There were a lot of projects that came around in 2014 when crypto was hot back in the day, and then it died off, and the valuation really went down. And then it's obviously since come back quite a bit. I need to do a little bit more research on seeing the viability of Bytum, to be pretty frank. But I think Verge is a decent opportunity from a privacy coin perspective, and something that you definitely it's worth taking a look at. It's pretty crazy too from a sales perspective, or from a buy-sell perspective. Obviously, I mean, we're talking about right now with Bitcoin. Bitcoin went all the way down to $14,400. It sold off like you wouldn't believe, and now it's back up above $17,000. So that's one of those things where making a quick move on Bitcoin on some of these others is not always the best move on the planet if you don't know what's coming. I'm sure there's got to be some person in here, and I'd love to hear it. Hit me up in the comments right now, but there's probably one person in here that sold below $15,000. I'd love to know who you are, and not to make fun of you, but yeah, somebody in here sold below $15,000 and is probably kicking themselves right now and is feeling quite depressed. It's not me. I didn't do anything because I was literally driving a car. Joe Flacco is not elite. You bite your tongue. I'm a Jets fan. I don't really care. Joe Flacco is only elite in the playoffs. Hodl, hodl, hodl. A lot of people saying that. So, I mean, the one thing I think I would say about Bitcoin Cash, and I'm not, so I hate the politics around Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash. I personally don't love the way that Roger goes about the whole Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash drama, but I also do think that there literally are realistic issues with Bitcoin right now in terms of the transfer, in terms of the fees associated with Bitcoin. It's expensive. If you want to be a Bitcoin Core fan, that's great, but to deny that the fees are not an issue is I think silly, and they definitely are. So I think there is, Roger Ver does have some significant qualms and some issues there. But on the other end of the spectrum, I think the way he goes about a lot of that isn't always the best move. But so it doesn't surprise me that Bitcoin Cash is pumping. Litecoin pumped hard, and I think Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, to be honest, are pretty comparable in terms of features, in terms of functionality. I think they're fairly redundant, but we are now talking about a $60 billion market cap with Bitcoin Cash. I mean, that is Bitcoin Cash at one point in time was trading at about $300. It's up obviously about 10x plus since then. There was quite a bit of time back in September, October, where Bitcoin Cash, I feel like, was. I mean, we can look at it right now. I'll pull up the charts just to take a little peek. Look at it on a year-long basis. I mean, there were plenty of points in time where Bitcoin Cash was literally trading well below $300 in mid-October. So you had to have some conviction to make that buy. And there was literally when I was on vacation when Bitcoin Cash pumped all the way up to $2,000, close to $500, cooled way back down, and is now obviously pumping up very, very hard again. So if you've had the conviction, if you've had the guts to keep that money in there, then that is good on you. Trading is trading, and making money is making money. So sold my alts. Rohan said, sold my alts for profit, transferred to Bitcoin Cash on Bittrex. Will sell all once GDAX is up. I mean, I don't know how long this pump might sustain, but it looks like, I don't know. It looks like there was, at least on Bittrex, looking at the US dollar tether, there was some resistance at $4,000, and it sold off below that. So that seems like a good strategy, and good on you for taking your alts and that profit into Bitcoin Cash. And obviously, like you guys can see, we're on GDAX right now. You're seeing an $8,500 in the you're seeing $8,500 here, and $9,500 is the last trade price. Take that with a grain of salt, because I don't think those numbers are obviously very correct. When the Rise app is launched from Props Project, are you going to do live broadcasts on there? What do you think of Vertcoin? It's a personal fave. I am going to do live broadcasts on Props or on Rise once Props is launched. I've been in contact with the team. I really like the way the team is executing. They're good people there, and it's a legitimate business, and they have real developers behind that. So I'm excited to play around with Props and get on Rise once that is live. So I definitely will be there. As far as Vertcoin goes, I'm not the biggest Vertcoin fan in the world. I do get the reasoning behind it, but I think there are a lot of pretty legitimate competitors to Vertcoin as well. So we'll have to see, how that ends up playing out. The only difference between you and me is you gave up on Civic. Yeah, I gave up on Civic. I didn't give up on Civic, but I took a 3x profit. So God forbid somebody takes a 300% profit on a trade. God forbid. Andra Helio, I did not pronounce your name correctly, but thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, 3,000 viewers is by far the most people we've ever had on a live stream, so thank you so much for that. And somebody else mentioned Coinigy alternative that tracks the cost of trades. Try Bitcoin.cash. That is, Bitcoin.tax. It should be in the description, but I have a couple links for cointracking.info and bitcoin.tax that are pretty legit. Bitcoin.tax is significantly cheaper than cointracking.info, but yeah. Somebody mentioned, is this an emergency happy hour? This is actually not an emergency happy hour. I planned this at 9 p.m., but I'm an insider trader, and I knew this stuff was going down, so I timed it perfectly so that I'd be live the second this. Now, I literally had no idea this was happening. I was sitting above Madison Square Garden, drinking beers at the beer garden above Madison Square Garden, and this went down, and I was like, oh my God, and I sprinted to the parking garage. I got my car, sprinted through the Lincoln Tunnel, and got home. And if you don't believe me, check out Twitter, and that is an absolute indication. Where are we right now? I swear to God, this was me 2 hours ago. So at 7:44 p.m., I was still in Manhattan, and I was sprinting to my car to the garage because I needed to get home to hit up crypto happy hour, especially when all this stuff was going down. So appreciate the patience on that, but this is not an emergency happy hour. This was definitely anticipated. Is there much more room for ADA to grow? Got a heap at 0.03. So I think there is more room for Cardano to grow. I as well got a heap at 3 cents, as well as 0.028 cents, and then also at 15 cents. So I'm a big Cardano fan. I do think that it is potentially, quite frankly, I like Cardano more than I like IOTA. I also think Cardano might have more potential than a Litecoin or a Ripple. So I think Cardano has that potential to probably get to the plus $20 million market cap, maybe $30 million or $1 billion market cap range as well. So, I mean, that's what I'm looking at. You're lying. Who drives to Manhattan? Somebody who doesn't live in Manhattan. That's who, Andy. So taking a look at some of these questions here. And I mean, what I would say too about everything moving forward is that Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash, if you are really like, so I know a lot of people are just vehemently opposed to Bitcoin Cash, and I'm not, by any stretch, I'm not a big Bitcoin Cash fan. But what I would say to that is if you are very concerned about Bitcoin Cash eating your lunch money, if you're a big Bitcoin owner, buy somewhat maybe of an equal distribution of Bitcoin Cash. I personally don't own any right now, but I'm looking at maybe getting somewhat of a portion of it, but buy somewhat of maybe buy a stake in Bitcoin Cash, just hold on to it, say screw it. If Bitcoin Cash somehow becomes the true Bitcoin, which I don't necessarily agree with that happening, but something just to keep an eye on is if that's like really what you want to do, if you're petrified that Bitcoin Cash is going to beat you in the marketplace and become that next big thing, then just buy an equal distribution in Bitcoin Cash that you have a Bitcoin. Glad to finally make it here. Thank you very much, Michael. I appreciate the super chat. Bought Cardano and a VeChain tonight when they dipped. Do you think a guy should buy more alts now or wait to see what happens? So, I mean, I think fundamentally when you look at a lot of this stuff going down right now, you look at what's happening and you have to think to yourself, is this going to be the most crypto ever? Is this going to be the most crypto ever dips? Like, is this going to be the all-time high for crypto in general? And if you think that this is the all-time high forever, then get rid of it. But on the other end of the spectrum, if you think that this is a temporary dip and that crypto is going to continue to grow and grow and grow, then buying when something's down 10%, 14%, 15%, 21%, that's a bargain. That's a deal. And that has always been that way in the past. So I would definitely recommend, if you think that if you're confident in a cryptocurrency, if you like it quite a bit, then make a move on it. Now is the time to make that move. Could it continue to dip a lot lower? Absolutely. Somebody, I think, tweeted today, it was Turdemeester tweeted today that I tried to find the tweet, but I couldn't see it or I couldn't find it before. But Turdemeester, who I think runs some type of crypto hedge fund, but he had mentioned previously that even if Bitcoin retraces, even if Bitcoin corrects 90%, it will have still outperformed basically every other asset class on the planet in 2017. So probably not the best news for anybody who's gotten in the past couple of months because, you would still lose quite a bit if Bitcoin retraced 90%. But anybody who has been into crypto prior to 2017, even if this goes down 90%, you're still making more than any other asset class on the planet. But I think, buying the dip, it comes down to, everybody always says buying the dip. This is a dip. This is at least part of a dip. Do you have the balls to make it happen? Do you have the balls to pull the trigger, or are you kind of freaking out a little bit? We'll see what happens, but yeah, I'm happy to dollar cost average my way in at this point in time because I don't think that less than 17 grand is going to be the all-time high that we'll ever see of crypto. Bitcoin is an AI. Let's take a look. I mean, I think the GDAX stats that you see here are just completely wrong. It's obviously, we have 11,000 Bitcoin cash, 11,400 Bitcoin cash sell orders right now, and going upwards at $8,500. I mean, people are trying to ditch this stuff with everything that they have. I doubt many of those orders fill, so certainly something to keep in mind. So arbitrage between Bitcoin Cash versus Binance and GDAX. I mean, I think any arbitrage you're seeing right now, it's probably not functional. Arbitrage sounds great in theory, but you're talking about this market hasn't moved, and is obviously, I mean, GDAX, this is obviously not an efficient market on Bitcoin Cash right now. It's probably not functional, so I don't think there's really arbitrage there. Probably sounds great in theory, but it's I would doubt that this is something. I haven't tried to trade on GDAX right now, but I'm assuming by looking at this and the fact that this exact screen has been up for quite some time, it's not functioning. So I wouldn't think that there's a legitimate arbitrage opportunity there for the time being. If you were to go into an altcoin today and wanted crazy gains, like buying Verge at 0.2 of a cent for like $1,000 cash out at 6 cents, what would I choose? I mean, I don't think you want to look at the overall cost of the crypto. It's the percentage gain that it might have. Whether something's at $10 million or $10 million in market cap or $10 billion in market cap. It's not the overall price of it. It's the percentage gain that you might find. And I think that people underestimate how big of a pump that you can get from some pretty big cryptocurrencies out there right now. Whether it's been Cardano, I've been a big Cardano fan. Got into Cardano when it was less than $1 billion, and it was around $1 billion. And people are like, yeah, it's a big market cap. It's not going to pump that hard. Cardano pumped up to $12 billion. Bitcoin Cash. I'm not a huge Bitcoin Cash fan, but Bitcoin Cash was under $10 billion for quite some time. You would think, okay, this is a multi-billion-dollar cryptocurrency. It's not going to pump that hard. It's over $60 billion right now. Ripple was under $10 billion. It's close to $30 billion in market cap. So I would not worry about the overall price, how many cents it is to supply. It's how realistic it is to, 2, 3, 4, 5x. That's what you need to concern yourself to. I have not heard of the ship chain ICO, 25K to get in. I could take a quick look at that, but I have not heard of that. Logistics, blockchain. So I haven't heard too much about that at this point in time. I need to do a little bit more research on these guys. I mean, I personally, in my day job, do a little bit of work in supply chain, know a little bit about supply chain. I sell enterprise software for a living, so I'd probably get a pretty good feel for these guys off the top. 25K is a pretty steep buy-in. So, I mean, you're talking about accredited investors or people that have some money to throw in. But I would need to do a little bit more research to see whether or not these guys are really legit. But the one thing I would say is that, enterprise software is not the type of thing you develop in a month or 2 months. I mean, it takes legitimate companies years and years to develop legitimate software for enterprise organizations. So I don't know too much about these guys, but I mean, if they really did start in Q4 of 2017 developing a platform. If you're gonna post some stupid crap in the comments, I'm gonna block your ass. But if they're gonna post, if they're gonna just start development in Q4 of 2017, I think that they're gonna be able to sell legitimate enterprise software. I think that's kind of silly, and it's gonna take years and years to do that. So just working in this industry myself, not necessarily in a direct competition, but I think that who knows. And I would say, too, I mean, outside of just this, I literally don't know anything about chip chain. I'm just saying, just generally speaking, look at the roadmap and take some thoughts on that. But the other thing I would say is somebody's like, oh, they already have a partnership with so-and-so. When somebody says they have a partnership with whatever company out there, do due diligence on that, because somebody just said, hey, ShipChain has a partnership with UPS. Maybe that they literally have an awesome partnership with UPS, There's also a possibility that they've literally had one package sent to them from UPS, and they were like, hey, we got a partnership with UPS. And again, I don't know. I'm not fudding them. I have no. This is the first time I've ever seen their ICO. But I would say that there are a lot of companies out there that over-exaggerate their partnerships so that, so that they can boost the price or whatever. Just something always, and this is not specifically related to ShipChain whatsoever. They could be the best product in the world. They could be the best company in the world. I'm just saying, overall speaking, that if somebody says they have a partnership, do your own due diligence and see if they really have a partnership there. It's something that's worth considering. Thoughts on Substratum? I think Substratum is interesting, especially with the whole net neutrality stuff going on. I don't own any Substratum, but I think that depending upon how the whole net neutrality thing plays out, it is something that you might want to consider. Drew Sauer, have you invested in the Bloom ICO? Love the channel. Yes, I did. I did throw money into the Bloom ICO. I'm a little bit curious / concerned of, obviously, the price of Ethereum since I put money into it has gone through the roof. I mean, I think I put money into the Bloom ICO when Ethereum was at below $500 per ETH. Now it's at about $800. So we'll have to see what ends up happening with that. But I'm hoping it, at the very minimum, keeps its ratio to Ethereum. But overall, I do like the Bloom project. I've had a chance to speak to. Let's see here what's going on. Somebody just said Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin going below $17,000. All the charts on GDAX are just all over the place right now. How did YouTube change your life, Bobby? It hasn't that much at all. Still have a day job. Still do my own thing. But yeah, it hasn't been that crazy. Can you tell everyone to say hi to Lisa Lyle? Will everybody in the comment section say hi to Lisa? Lisa, I can't even say that right. Lisa. Say hi to Lisa. Coinbase is running again. BCH disabled on Coinbase. BCH crashed. Yeah, everybody's going nuts. Give me 1 second to plug in my laptop charger because it's unplugged and my laptop is about to die. So, and we are back. Sessions. I appreciate that, man. So I'm taking a look at these questions. They're coming in very fast, and I'm having super ADD. Somebody said Super Bowl predictions. Pats versus and I hate the Pats. I'm a Jets fan, but the Pats are just always the best and just crush my soul every day. But I would say the Patriots versus, let's go to the Rams. Just because Carson Wentz is out for the season, so I don't trust Nick Foles as far as I can throw him. Namathi, thank you very much for that. I appreciate the super chat. And somebody mentioned Tron, so we can pull that bad boy up on Binance and CoinMarketCap. Yeah, right, Vikings. Vikings are up there. Vikings, the NFC Championship, we'll see. So Tron pumped obviously real hard, selling off a little bit at this point in time. I mean, it was up to 50+ cents. Now it's at 38 cents, so it's down 20% on the day, like a lot of other crypto out there. I don't really know the exact reason that Tron is pumped so hard. It's been something that's kind of popped out, and it's been something that's popped around pretty much all over every single chat. Every time I'm on Twitter, somebody's like Tron, 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 Tron. As far as it being something that is legitimately worthy of the market capitalization, that who knows? I mean, the one thing I'll say about Tron and everything else is this is not a rational market. It's not. Like, everybody wants to rationalize it. Everybody wants to put theories behind it and all this stuff, put strategies behind it. For the most part, it's not a rational market. It's just not. And you have to play with the irrationality. You have to play with the pumps. Is IOTA worth over $10 billion? Probably not. Is Cardano, which I have a lot of money in it, worth over $10 billion? Probably not. Is Bitcoin worth multi-hundreds of billions of dollars? The utility says probably not. But it is. And if you're saying it's not, you can be saying it's not, but you're also missing out on a lot of money if you're shorting it or you're out of the game. So, a lot of people try to put rationality into place, and I just don't think that in this case, right now at least, rationality and legitimate valuations and the whole VC, private equity, Wall Street method of valuation is applying right now. It's just not. There are a lot of people in the venture capital world that are putting money into these, all these really great coins that have all these fantastic fundamentals. Then you have some random shit coin pumping 7,000%. And you're like, wait, what's happening? I don't know. And then some Joe Schmo dummy at home is beating some high quality VC that went to Wharton and Harvard Business School. Is what it is. Possible too, but altcoins with US dollar, euro stabilization. Thank you very much, Crypto Knight. I appreciate that. The stabilization from a stable coins, I would assume that's what the issue is. I don't think stable coins are that big of a deal personally. I mean, the dollar tether thing, all that type of stuff. You get taxed the same if you trade with the US dollar or the euro. If you trade with dollar tether, you get taxed the same. And that would, I mean, at least in my opinion, the only big advantage to using something like dollar tether opposed to the dollar is that you wouldn't get taxed on it. You actually get taxed the exact same thing. So it's not a big deal on my end. And I don't think it's like that big of, it's not a huge benefit to trade with a stable coin if you're still getting taxed the same. Populos is one that I actually was doing a little bit of research on, and this was one that I think only raised $9 million in their ICO, which is incredible to think about. That they raised $9 million, I believe, in their ICO. And at one point in time, I mean, they were trading back in October at 1.45, about $145 million. Now they're well above, close to $2 billion in valuation, just shy of that. Populos has crushed it. And again, too, I mean, from a rationality perspective, I don't know if it's a company that, quite frankly, is worth that, but that's what the market says it's worth, and that's what it's worth. So, thoughts on buying more Cardano and Stellar Lumens right now? Let's see how far. I'm going to refresh this bad boy, see what percentage down they might be from the all-time highs. If on-chain FX loads, there we go. So Cardano is down 16% from its all-time highs, which was established 48 hours ago. And then the other one is Stellar Lumens, which is down 20%. I mean, anytime you can buy a legitimate cryptocurrency that you really like and you think is not towards its peak, then you're buying it at a discount. And I think that's a smart move, personally. So I don't necessarily think it's the worst thing in the world to buy Cardano or Stellar Lumens right now if you think that they haven't reached their max potential. If you do think that they've peaked, if you think this is the highest they're ever going to go, then don't buy. But right now, I mean, you can quite frankly see that they're up quite a bit. I mean, they're down 16% for Cardano, and Stellar Lumens is down about 20%. So I mean, the only things that haven't really dipped that hard, you got Zcash down about 5% from the all-time highs, and Bitcoin Cash obviously crushing it right now. Dash, wow. I didn't even see this. So Dash is murdering it. Zoom out in the year. Or the past 3 months, we'll do that one. Dash is having one heck of a run. close to $1,300 for Dash. I mean, that is crazy. But it's crypto. Crypto is crazy. I want to start with altcoins, but I can store them on my Ledger Nano S. Looks like Cardano and some others aren't supported. I would say, I mean, all you got to do, if you want to see what's supported on Ledger, if you're interested, go to ledgerwallet.com, hit cryptocurrencies. I'll put the link there. I mean, they have a vast majority. Cardano is one of the only ones that they don't have. Any ERC20 token as well that they do have is stored under the Ethereum wallet, so you don't have to worry about that. But I mean, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Ethereum, ETC, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Zcash, Ripple, blah, 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 blah. They have quite a bit of crypto out there. I would assume Cardano is going to be close on the horizon. I mean, they've added crypto that has done well in the past, so I would assume Cardano is probably going to be in the near term, but no, you can't store Cardano on a Ledger now. If you want to get a Ledger, it's in the description. There's a link to Amazon and to just the Ledger website as well. So somebody said, we can judge your portfolio, how it's going if you're going with an IPA versus Macallan. Thanks for your time and guidance. Go Pats. I hate you. No, I'm kidding. I'm a depressed New York Jets fan, and you guys beat me into submission every single year and destroy my soul. So for any NFL fans out there, I guess it could be worse. I could be a Cleveland Browns fan, but being a Jets fan is pretty crappy. And thanks as well, Tony, and again, Crypto Night for those super chats. But yeah, I mean, right now I went out and was in New York, following work, and had a couple Founders Porter, which I enjoy. So I had a couple of those at the bar above Madison Square Garden, and then came home. So I'm not going too crazy right now. Seeing a lot of Pats fans or Bears fans. Does the butt fumble still haunt you? Yes, it does. It does. It's good to know that the NFL fans are also crypto fans. Bitcoin Gold riding on Bitcoin Cash's coattail. Let's take a look. Is it BTG? On Binance. So we got a little bit of a Bitcoin Gold pop and then a sell-off. I mean, pretty significant pop and sell-off. That went up about, at one point in time, Bitcoin Gold went up about 70% in 4 hours and is now up about 27%. So still up quite a bit, but nothing like absolutely outrageous. Bryce Petty's future. I don't know if there is a future with the Jets. So Ariane P, thank you for these happy hours. I usually listen to these not live, but when I'm working out. Thank you. So thanks for listening, whether you're working out, whether you're eating pizza like I am, or I will finish eating pizza after this, and I'm going to eat ice cream after this as well. But, I mean, this is the type of day where you might need to sit down and pour yourself a stiff drink, or if you're not a drinker, or if you don't like booze, pour yourself a nice glass of chamomile tea or whatever it might be out there. Nice frothy root beer, because Bitcoin Cash is either making you rich or giving you nightmares. So a lot of people are asking, will Bitcoin Cash overtake Bitcoin? I personally don't. I don't see a lot of a difference between Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, if I'm being like super frank. But I do think that both Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash right now are addressing legitimate issues that are happening with Bitcoin. If I go into Coinbase, if I go into anywhere else, if I go into my Ledger and I want to send somebody $150, just $150. But if I want to, send somebody $150 of Bitcoin, I'm probably going to pay about $15 in fees. I mean, that's a lot of money in fees. The entire purpose of Bitcoin in a lot of respects was to have very low fees, instant transactions. So, and granted, like take this from somebody that literally has 50% of his portfolio in Bitcoin. So, I'm not like Mr. Bitcoin fudder. I have the majority of my money in Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin goes down, then I stand to lose substantially. But I do think that there are some issues around Bitcoin fees that really do need to be addressed, as well as timing. Can SegWit and can Lightning Network maybe handle that? Yes, maybe. But those need to be implemented by places like Coinbase and the big boys out there. SegWit does need to really be implemented right now. I see a lot of comments about SegWit and all that stuff. So, yeah, send from GDAX. I do, obviously. So somebody else mentioned hello Lightning Network, and granted, trust me, like anytime I'm saying this stuff, the most money I have is in Bitcoin. So I'm not like Mr. FUD Central. Oh, whatever is the true Bitcoin. Like the majority of my money is in Bitcoin. But you have to admit that there are some things that need to be worked out, and there are a lot of potential solutions, but they're not full solutions yet. So they're not there in totality yet. Whether it's Lightning Network or it's SegWit, they're not fully adopted to the point where they're bringing it into, they're affecting the market enough at this point in time. But they could potentially. So certainly something to keep in mind. What's going on with Augur? Demo doesn't even work. So I haven't gotten a chance to do too much work with Augur yet. I know they just passed $1 billion market cap at this point in time. I mean, they went from, Augur went from being worth back in mid-October, $18 to right now. They've gone through the roof to up to over $80 with some real heavy volume. I know the guys around Augur are probably pretty in terms of Silicon Valley, and they're, some of the well-known crypto dudes. So I think that's definitely beneficial long-term. But it's I haven't gotten a chance to try the beta out and use too much of it. There's a lot of different beta platforms that are coming out, and I can only really try so much of them, to be honest with you. Since 7,000 people have asked me about Electroneum, what's going on with Electroneum, I don't know. Do they even have a functioning wallet yet? Maybe, maybe not. I played around mining Electroneum a little bit, but yeah, I'm not a huge Electroneum fan. I know a lot of people have invested a lot of money in it, but I don't see how it offers anything different than any other cryptocurrencies out there, other than really good marketing. And guys, if you are new to the channel by any chance, I know there's a ton of people in here right now, so I really, no bullshit, thank every single one of you. But if you are new to the channel by any chance, hit the subscribe button, the little notify bell next to that. And I do daily videos on the subject of cryptocurrency every single day. And then outside of that, I also hop into these crypto YouTube live happy hours. Typically, it's a couple different times a week. This one just happened to be when Bitcoin Cash and when everything went absolutely nuts and haywire. So I appreciate you guys hopping in for that. So hit that subscribe button, the notify bell for that. And I really do, like I said, I appreciate every single person here. So taking a look at some of these questions here. Do you always wear a cool shirt? This is just what I wore to work today. So it's very fancy. J. Crew. I think outlet too, because I'm a big baller, so I went with the outlet. Not even the real J. Crew. That's how we do things around here. A bunch of people saying thoughts on Cardano. I am a big Cardano fan. I don't know, depending upon where you guys got into this channel at, or where you got interested or where you started watching the videos, but I have been into Cardano since when it was about 3 cents, thanks to I don't know if he's watching it or not, but my man Graco told me about this after he had a great call on Ethereum Classic. I didn't listen on Ethereum Classic, but he absolutely nailed this. I got in about, let's zoom out on the last month. So I got in back here. I got in on November 7th. November 17th was, so almost exactly a month ago, November 17th was when I bought into Cardano, and it has absolutely pumped through the roof since then. Very grateful for Graco for that, and I am holding for the time being as well. I am, number one, not looking to take capital gains tax on it in 2017. As well as that, I am from the perspective of Cardano long term. I think that it does have a lot of potential and could maybe be a competing factor to something like Ethereum, which I'm also a big holder of as well. Tell him, Michael said, tell him to let us know about the next ADA. So I was supposed to have that meetup group last night, which is there's like 10, 12 guys in New York that I hang out with a little bit. And that was where I found Cardano, and that's also where I found VeChain, VEN, that has crushed it as well. VeChain, I think it was about 3 weeks ago was when I got into VeChain. Where's that bad boy? So VeChain in the past month has also done pretty well as well. Not maybe as well as Cardano, but VeChain's had a nice run too. So that was where I found that one as well. Anytime I go to a meetup, anytime I meet anybody that is smart, that has their stuff together, that has a compelling argument as to why something else is going to crush it, I will absolutely let you guys know. I mean, that is my entire goal with, I don't know what somebody's saying, but that is my entire goal with with this channel, is to basically provide you with every single bit of information that I have, that I'm aware of, so that you guys can be as successful as possible. Hey guys, what is going on? Hopefully I'm back. Hopefully you can hear me all right and see me. Sorry about the microphone issues. I should be back. I'm back. We're all going to die. I'm just kidding. We're back. Hopefully you can freaking hear me. Technical difficulties. Press the alarm. Sorry about that, guys. I'm an idiot, and I'm also not... I'm not a real YouTuber, and I do all this stuff on my own. So we're alive, we're well, we're back. Tell everybody to get back in the chat. We lost about 300 of you guys, but we're back, we're alive, we're good to go. We're good. So Michael mentioned Appreciate the content. I'm a Salesforce LinkedIn alum working at NYC. Wondering if you sell enterprise software for either. I'm also a LinkedIn alum as well, so used to work at LinkedIn. Michael, hit me up anytime, brother. And Brian Kuda, I appreciate the microphone repair fund. I don't know if it was a microphone issue or if I'm just an idiot. Probably one or the other. BS44, Dad says turn it off, turn it back on again. That's literally what I did. So thank you to BS44's dad. You the man. Very much appreciate the sound advice. And now we have Bitcoin Cash selling off. I was trying to say beforehand, before my stream just died, but I was trying to say beforehand when my mic died. But the one thing, so I've had a couple different friends that have talked quite a bit about the opportunity from the perspective of when something gets added to a new exchange. So when something gets added to a new exchange like Coinbase or like GDAX or whatever, somebody said sound advice. There's no sound advice here. I definitely don't have sound advice, but you have about a 40-minute window is from like a statistical perspective, and I'm curious to see what this window is here. So that actually checks out pretty freaking solid. So to explain this story a little bit more, basically between when something gets added to a new exchange and when something kind of hits its peak, you have about 45 minutes between that. So when it's like something gets added to the exchange, something gets added or something hits that peak, you have about 45 minutes. So you can really consider this in a lot of respects here. Bitcoin Cash in this candle got announced that it was getting added to GDAX. Peaks all the way up. It's about 45% and is now since selling off. So I think that I know my guy Jake was one of the ones that ran the analytics on that, and it appears that he was pretty solidly correct on that with Bitcoin Cash. So you have about a 40% window between when something gets added to that exchange and when you should take profits, and then once it hits that 40-45% range, boom, down. So that's something to take into consideration as you look at some of these things. If something's up 20% after it gets added to an exchange, maybe you can buy it real quick. But if there is something that gets added and it's up 40%, maybe you hang out a little bit, because that seems to be the average of where things start to take a little bit of a sell off. And let's take a look at Bitcoin, because I'm curious to see if this was just a very short-term pump with Bitcoin Cash and if Bitcoin is recovering fully. Looks like there's a pretty solid recovery there. Do you trust buying Ledger from Amazon? I personally bought a Ledger from Amazon, but you can get it from either or. So I got my Ledger from Amazon. It's worked fine, worked great. Crypto attention spans. Can we see $3,000 Litecoin? Why don't you hit $1,000 before we talk about $3,000 Litecoin? That's my perspective. So get to the $1,000 and then we'll go from there. Matthias, hello from Norway. Thoughts on ETH for 2018? I think ETH really needs to execute and work on scaling. I think Ethereum has the development community behind it, has the institutional interest behind it, but I do think that ETH needs to make some significant prospects in terms of scaling, and once it does that, that might continue to run upwards. But I've liked the movement of Ethereum, obviously $800 right now, pretty close to its all-time high. So it's been real solid recently. I think Ethereum will hit $1,000 pretty easily in the next year. I don't necessarily know if it'll happen in 2017, but could really be soon. This light is just burning my eyeballs out right now. It's not fun. So somebody mentioned ICO, IPO, not much of a difference. I mean, I think there is absolutely a difference. There's a very big difference between an ICO and an IPO. But, I mean, an ICO, I personally view as more of a seed funding round and or a Series A round. Then an ICO or an IPO is a much more developed company typically at this point in time, in which, you know, it's a much more developed company. It's a little bit easier to buy from a liquidity perspective as well. But I get, you know, there is a pretty accurate comparison between the two. Somebody mentioned, what will Bitcoin Cash go up once you can buy on Coinbase again? It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, so GDAX, Coinbase is a mess right now at Bitcoin Cash. Basically, GDAX is just a mess in general right now. I mean, you can't look at these charts. Like, it's non-existent. It's not even there. Here we go. The one-day charts, okay. The 1 hour charts, no. So 5-minute charts. So some of the charts are okay. Some of the charts are just an absolute mess. But will Bitcoin Cash go up once you can buy on Coinbase again? I don't necessarily know if it will. It's Bitcoin Cash to me is a good hedge against Bitcoin. I think that's what Bitcoin Cash is. It's a direct hedge against Bitcoin, and if you're putting your money in Bitcoin, you're putting your money that you think that Bitcoin is going to be the digital gold. If you're putting your money in Bitcoin Cash, you're betting that Bitcoin is going to be a transactional peer-to-peer cryptocurrency or transactional peer-to-peer cash. So depends on which one you want to bet on, regardless of if you like, like Roger, if you agree with his arguments, then you can invest in that, but it all depends. Do you want a Big Baller brand t-shirt? Yeah, why not? Look. Why not, man? Throw me a Big Baller brand t-shirt. BBB, what's up? Electronium going to explode. ETN. If I hear one more Electronium comment, I am going to open out the window and dive headfirst out of it. Swear. I swear. If I hear one more Electronium comment, I will jump. It's only 2 floors, but I will jump. So trying to go through these comments as quick as I possibly can. I hate you guys. I actually love all of you, but I hate you sometimes. IOTA 100x by December. So this is something, and I'll say it to anything on the planet. So IOTA right now is trading at a $14 billion valuation. You can say whatever is 14, whatever is 100x. So IOTA right now is a $14 billion cryptocurrency. If it goes to 100x by next year, IOTA will be a $1.4 trillion cryptocurrency. $1.4 trillion. How many things out there are worth $1.4 trillion? How many things are worth over $1 trillion? Not many things on the planet. So, granted, IOTA might be great. IOTA might be fantastic. Is there a company on the planet worth over $1 trillion? No. So, will IOTA be worth over $1 trillion? I would guess no. Is it possible? It is. But, yeah, I mean, anytime somebody goes out there and says, is whatever going to be worth, 100 bajillion, 11 billion bajillion dollars, then take that market cap, multiply that by it, and see what that market cap is. If it's over $1 trillion, I'm going to venture and say, no, it's probably not. Just an overall guess. So two different things. Somebody said, do you get involved when things like a flash crash? Some alts went on 20% discount for about an hour. A lot of times when these flash crashes happen, or when there's big dips, if you are not, so we'll pull this up on a 5-minute chart, Bitcoin GDAX. So if you don't have a sell order set, this is just the Bitcoin chart on GDAX. But if you don't have a buy order set, it's possible that you did not take advantage of this at all. This happened so quick. This happened over 10 minutes. Literally, these are two candles. Bitcoin went from $16,500 all the way down to $14,000 and then all the way back up to $16,500 over the course of 15 minutes. So if you are not sitting by your computer and have access to funds, or if you don't have orders already in place, you're not going to be able to buy that dip. So you have to be prepared for stuff like that in advance. That is something I will say that, do I get involved in the flash crash? Sometimes I'll have orders set, but, not every time. Like I said before, I was literally sitting having beers at a bar. I'm not going to say I'm sitting at my computer all day long, being a workaholic trader and just crushing life. I was sitting and having beers at a bar. So you have to be prepared for that stuff to happen, and or buy your computer, and or already have those orders set. Brett mentioned if it had $3,000 and you had to pick an altcoin to put in tonight, one that you think will make the most money in the long run, what would it be? Let me open up my crystal ball and see what I would put my most... No, I'm kidding. I think it depends on what you want to do. If I knew the best cryptocurrency to put my money into that would automatically crush it in the long run, I would put my money into that. You guys, it's pretty simple. If you ever need to see my portfolio in general, you can literally go to my portfolio, and these are the cryptos that I have my money in, which is where I have my money in is where I would not necessarily recommend you put your money into, but it's where I have confidence making investments, because I'm literally putting my hard-earned cash into those. So whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Zcash, whether it's VeChain, whether it's Cardano, whether it's Ethereum Classic, whether it's Omise Go, that's the stuff that I feel comfortable. If you're looking to find something, in some cases it can help to see how far something has fallen off an all-time high, and when that certain crypto hit its all-time high as well. So I think on-chain FX is helpful in that regards, is when you can see, hey, this was pumping really hard, but it's since sold off pretty hard. Is that going to hit its all-time high forever? No, probably not. So I can buy in while it's at a dip. I think that's something that you can take a look at for sure. So taking a look at some of these questions. Say hi to Rick. Hi, Rick. ETN, $15 billion market cap in 3 months. Want to bet? Acapulco Ron, what is up, my man? Good to see you again. Happen to see the EMC2 drop in front of my eyes. Soon it dropped to put 4,000 on it. Got in at 86. I'm assuming 8,600 sats a few hours ago. Dumped it for 1,200. Just returned home from my nice steak dinner. If you're making profit, you're making profit. That's always a solid move. Happy to hear about that. Hopefully you paid for that steak dinner as well. Thoughts on using stop losses to lock in profits? I think stop losses are a fantastic tool, depending upon how how you want to approach trading. It's pretty simple. You can hop into GDAX or anything else. Binance's stop limit orders now. You could also do the same thing on profits too. But if you have one Bitcoin, if you want to sell one Bitcoin, if you think that if it goes below $15,000, you're freaking out, and you want to set the stop price at $15,000, set the limit price at $14,000, boom, you sell that. and you're good to go, and that you limit the downside risk. Granted, something could happen today, like where if you did this today, you might have sold at $15,000. It dipped all the way down to $14,000, and now it's back up to $17,000. So that is the downside to a stop loss. But if you want to lock in profits, if you're scared about losses, that is a fantastic way to do things, and I definitely, definitely like that. So somebody said Coinbase is bananas. It's having issues, obviously. GDAX, Coinbase. The one thing I would say is that, so there are clear scaling issues that are happening right now with Coinbase, with Bittrex, with a lot of these exchanges. The growth of the cryptocurrency sector is absolutely outrageous. Bittrex, so I saw a tweet today that Bittrex has hit a $5 billion annual revenue run rate. $5 billion. If you're not familiar with just how much money that is in terms of like enterprise value, I mean, that is a ton of money. That is a massive move for a company. That is a ton of money in terms of revenue. So it's definitely something that you should probably take into consideration there overall. But I think previously the average, like the peak concurrent users, I want to say for Poloniex back in the day was having issues with 30,000 concurrent users. Bittrex in the past week was having 5,000 users on their website at the same time. 500,000 users, 500,000 users on Bittrex at the same time. So there are, it doesn't help when you're losing money. It doesn't help when, things are going bad. It sucks. I get that. If you're going to comment on the same, if you're going to comment on the same thing like 7,000 times, I'm just not going to freaking answer it. So I see XVG happening like by 7,000 comments, and now just because you've commented 7,000 times XVG, I am not going to mention XVG. Mention XVG again. I'm here. I'm listening. So, somebody mentioned Binance, the only altcoin exchange you've been able to sign up to in the past 2 weeks. I think Bittrex is limited. Bittrex has stopped new registrations. I have a link to Binance if you're trying to trade altcoins. If you want to sign up for Binance, it's cryptobobby.com/Binance. Give that a shot if you're new to the altcoin game. You should be good to go there. You guys are lucky that the window is. How do I keep up with the chat? Just superior intelligence and fast eye. No, I'm kidding. I have no clue. So the first time Beneatha has been mentioned on the chat. So if you're playing the Beneatha drinking game, drink up. Go for it. Austin's take. What is up, my man? Do you know what platform you can withdraw the most amount of money at once? Coinbase only allows $15K a week. I think $15K for Coinbase is probably quite a bit. I know I have a pretty high limit. I've had a Coinbase account since 2013, though, so that's why I've had the limit. I know some friends that have like a $2,000 weekly limit on Coinbase, which is pretty crappy. If you're in the U.S., I would recommend, if you have issues with Coinbase in terms of Coinbase GDAX, I would recommend also opening up a Gemini account. Having both of those accounts will probably help you out, and Gemini is pretty quick to credit money as well. So I would definitely start that up. Good night, Garth. Appreciate the time, man. Have a fantastic night. You see, that's what happens when you guys are kind to me and when you're nice. You don't yell at me and tell me to F off. I'll give you a good night. So we'll take a look at the Coinbase status, because that'll be funny. Wire processing delays, ID document verification delays, Coinbase operational. It says it's operational, but it's probably not. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy things happening right now. Enterprise value is your background investment banking. No, it's in software, enterprise software. Was I in the Marines? No, I was not. I went to officer candidate school. Graduated from that, but not a true Marine. I have a lot of friends in from officer candidate school, though. Fantastic guys. Big admiration for the military. Do I think Monero is the next big privacy coin? I mean, I don't think Monero is the next big privacy coin. I think Monero is the big privacy coin. So it's definitely something that Monero is the big boy in the privacy coin game. I have my privacy coin in Zcash. Bothead, take a hike, brother. Monero is the big privacy coin going from there, but I have some money in Zcash. There is what's it called? Verge, there's Navcoin, there is Zcoin, there's a bunch of other ones as well. So somebody said, my 5-month-old son Calvin won't stop crying and I can't hear you. Please tell Calvin to be quiet. Did you name your son after Calvin Johnson? But hey, Calvin, be quiet. Megatron, settle down, brother. Relax. It's 10 p.m. Your dad wants to listen to cryptocurrency talk. So taking a look at some of these questions, trying to keep up with them as much as possible. You a Lions fan? No, I'm a Jets fan. Somebody said, missed you in Vegas. When is the next event? So I think I'm signing, or I'm not signing on, but I think I'm going to be speaking. I think the NAC3 North American Cryptocurrency Conference is going to do a bunch of events. The next one I think is going to be in New York. I think in February. I don't remember what date. And then Miami, and then like LA and a couple other places. So I should hopefully be speaking at all those, pending any scheduling conflicts. But the next one's going to be in New York in February, which I plan on speaking at. So that should be fun. If you guys are in New York, that'll be a good time. I know most of the people that were at the event in Vegas were all West Coast, minus a couple people that were awesome and came in from Boston, and somebody came in from Poland, which is freaking cool. But yeah, New York should be a good event, so I'm pumped for that. What do I think about Bread? I didn't put any money in the Bread ICO, but I know a lot of my friends that I trust quite a bit in the cryptocurrency world were very, very high on Bread. So I didn't personally put any money into the ICO, but I've heard very good things in terms of the analysis of the crypto, of the ICO, of the crypto, or of the token economics and everything surrounding Bread. Bothead for mod. About to sneeze. Give me 1 sec. So taking a look here at some of these questions. January, what's your prediction on VeChain? Are you a Litecoin hater? Yes. I just want to say this. I will say this as I have a bunch of people on the line. Just because I don't own a cryptocurrency in my portfolio, specifically Litecoin, because a lot of people own Litecoin, Just because I do not own Litecoin does not mean that I hate Litecoin. I have traded Litecoin. I have made a bunch of money on Litecoin. I am not a Litecoin hater. I am not a Ripple hater. I am not a hater of whatever. There's only so much money I have to go around, and I'm not going to put, money in every single. I'm not going to buy the top 100 cryptocurrencies. I'm just going to buy the cryptocurrencies that I want to buy, and I'm going to hold on to them, and I'm going to do what I want to do. So just because I own XYZ cryptocurrency and not the cryptocurrency that you own doesn't mean that I hate it. I just don't have enough money to go around. I'm not Warren Buffett, so I can't. I can't do it. And yeah, when somebody comments to, and says, "Hey, are you afraid to talk about Zcoin because it's better than Zcash?" Yes, I am petrified to talk about Zcoin. I'm shaking in my space boots, and I'm terrified to talk about it because if I talk about it and I say it's better than Zcash, then my investment in Zcash is going to drop 50%, and I'm going to lose all my money and my self-worth and my confidence. And it's going to be a really bad news. So, I don't tend to talk about anything that competes. I'm just kidding. So, for a beginner, what advice do you have, such as who to sign up with to trade and what wallet to go for multi-currency usability and security? So I've made a couple different videos. If you search, I'll try and pull this up right now, but if you search for, actually here, I'll do this one. If you go to right here, recommended tools and resources, I'll pop this into the chat, and this, it's, the URL is kind of a pain in the butt, but if you go to my website, cryptobobby.com, recommended tools and resources, and then this video here, this talks about the different exchanges I use, the coin tracking tools I use, portfolio management, the hardware wallets, all that stuff, what I really like and enjoy. So I would recommend, I'd recommend checking that out for sure. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Austin thanks for the feedback. To clarify, if you had 100K in your portfolio, you wanted to start liquidating profits, Gemini, Coinbase combo would be the best if you wanted to take out as quickly as possible. Probably, you'd probably be able to take out twice as much money with Coinbase and Gemini. The one thing that I would say, depending upon how bad you need the cash, but as long as it's in US dollar, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Maybe there might be a limitation on how much money you could take out, but as long as if it's in a US dollar wallet, it's not going to be that big of a deal. You might only be able to take out a couple grand a week. But if it's in the dollar, like you're already going to pay taxes on it, it is what it is. You just can't take out, X amount of money. So that's something you want to be aware of. Yeah, this is my Bitcoin wallet. I didn't buy this Bitcoin. I earned it. I earned it through this incredible thing. It's a trading bot, guys. It's a trading bot. I didn't buy this. I earned it. Nah, I'm kidding. I bought all the Bitcoin because I'm not a scam artist. So, Sean, I appreciate that. I missed that super chat. Thoughts on Wabi at the moment? So, I am a fan of the. I've heard good things about. Personally, I've heard good things about Wabi. Didn't contribute to the ICO at all. ICO sold out. I do not know if it's trading yet, but I was one of the ICOs that I would have preferred to have participated in, but I didn't get the chance to. But I've known a lot of people that did quite a bit of due diligence on the Wabi ICO and were big fans of it. So David, what's up, my man? So David mentioned Wabi is trading. Let's see. There we are. Yep, it is trading. So Wabi ICO right after the ICO came out about 50 mil in market cap. It looks like around that range, about $1.40. Went up at one point to plus 2 something. Now trading in the $1.70 range or so. So I'm not exactly sure where the ICO was, but also, quick shout out to my man David Hay. Fun hanging out with you in Vegas. So, Another fantastic YouTube channel to check out. David Shoots It Straight, and isn't about earning those. He's not about earning those Bitcoin. He's about buying them. And thanks again, Austin, for that super chat. I really do appreciate it, man. If you have anything, definitely let me know. Bitcoin Gold on Coinbase, I would highly doubt it personally. I don't think Bitcoin Gold is anywhere near the adoption and or the interest and or the need to be on Coinbase. I think people like Roger Ver and Jihan and all those homeboys that are behind Bitcoin Cash, that's a big reason why Bitcoin Cash will eventually be on Coinbase. But I personally don't see any reason whatsoever that Bitcoin Gold would ever be on Coinbase. I could be completely wrong, but I don't see it. Personally, don't see it at all. 6 space boots, bro. Yeah, my space boots are freaking awesome. I'm shaking in those space boots. Any trading bot recommendations? Personally, I think that if anybody has a trading bot worth a grain of salt, they're not going to make that publicly available, and they're not going to give it to you. So, just a big fat FYI that any company on the internet that's like, hey guys, you want this trading bot? This trading bot's available for you for X amount of money, or we'll give you X amount of profit if you if there's a trading bot available. For the most part, like, stay away. Don't do it. Don't do it. I just don't think that, this is, if you guys might notice that on Wall Street, in established markets, there are not really companies out there that are offering trading bots for sale or offering you a percentage of profits on their trading bot. If their trading bot is really legitimately making 40, 50, 60% a month, they are not going to offer that to you and give you a percentage of that profit. They're going to take every bit of that profit and just reinvest and reinvest and reinvest and become multi-billionaires, because that's what it is. They're not going to give that profit away to you, because why would they? Yeah, what's up, Crypto Night? Samo, Bitcoin Cash is on Coinbase, you numbnut. Is it? I wasn't on this page for like 4 hours. I don't know. Was it? You're the numbnut. Jay's Tech Mania, thank you very much for that, man. I appreciate that. Somebody mentioned, how do you like your steaks? Medium rare is the only way to eat a steak. It's the only way. Signing off. Have a good one, Mark. Appreciate it, man. Samo, I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. Thanks, Jay. So taking a look at some of these questions here. Jay likes his steak well done. I think that's what he's trying to say. So take a look at BCH right now. Somebody said it might have recovered a bit. We'll take a pop into that, see what's happening with Bitcoin Cash. Excuse me. BCC. So Bitcoin Cash is now below about $3,100. Dip below $3,000. Maybe found a little bit of support there, but nothing too crazy. Well done with ketchup. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm keeping politics out of this, but I know medium rare is the only way to eat a steak. I'll tell you that much. If you lost 90% of all your portfolio, would you still make these videos? Yeah, I would. You guys would probably think I'm an idiot, but I would definitely still make these videos. I mean, I enjoy this stuff. I don't pretend to be an expert. I am not an expert. I'm not somebody who owns a hedge fund. I'm not somebody who pretends to be an expert. I'm random. I'm just an ordinary dude who likes to come on here, have fun, talk to you. Hopefully knows a little bit to provide you with some insight and provide you with some help. But I'm definitely not somebody who has a I'm not a crypto genius, as you might have seen on any of these ads prior to this. So definitely something to to consider. Medium rares for barbarians or animals, I don't know. And somebody said, I like your podcast. Yeah, I'm not sure how many of you guys watch these videos and or listen to the podcasts on like iTunes or Google Play or whatever. But it's kind of crazy because I was looking the other day I was trying to find a podcast to listen to on my way back from Connecticut when I was driving home to listen to in the business section on iTunes, and I saw the Crypto Bobby podcast was in the top 50, and I was like, what the heck is happening? So anybody who listens to the podcast on iTunes, big thank you for that. I had no idea people really listen to that much. And so I want to say thank you for that. If you guys do listen to it, throw me a review on that one time. That like helps, I think, quite a bit with iTunes and the whole thing. But yeah, Harvard Business School is apparently second to Crypto Bobby. I'm just totally kidding. They're definitely way smarter than me. If it drops to 90%, there'll be about 8 people in the chat. Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely going to happen. Not necessarily that's going to drop 90%, but one thing that I did notice too, I don't know how many people are around back then, but 2013, 2014. So I got really interested in crypto. I got really interested in cryptocurrency late 2013 when the whole crypto market went from being worth, I mean, I could pop it up, but I've talked about it before. Basically, in the first crypto pump, when crypto went from being worth about $1 billion to being worth about $15 billion. So I got interested in like November, this time frame, December 2013, and then it dropped off and dropped off and dropped off. And after that, when that happened, a lot of people lost interest, and it was kind of crazy because I was super interested in Dogecoin. Dogecoin was like a really fun cryptocurrency back then. Like Bitcoin took itself very seriously. Bitcoin was like super anti-government and libertarian, and Dogecoin was just like, hey, you want to comment on Reddit and we'll give you 1,000 Dogecoin and we'll do this and we'll do that. And Dogecoin was a ton of fun, and they sent, I donated to send the Jamaican bobsled team to the Olympics, and Dogecoin sponsored a NASCAR driver. And then like all of a sudden, like once the price started dying, just like the Dogecoin Reddit died and the Bitcoin Reddit died. So when everybody's like, yo, Bobby, when are you quitting your job to do YouTube full time? I'm like, I'm not going to, because if the market goes down, 90% of you guys are going to be like, yo, Bobby, I hate you. So it's definitely something to for me to consider. Mick, appreciate that super chat. On-chain FX has NEO with 55,000% gains over the past 12 months. Let's see here. I don't know where on-chain FX the 12-month gains might be. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, wow. 57,000% gain. I mean, so I guess I don't know if this is perfectly on target, but yeah, NEO apparently with on-chain FX. I bought into NEO when NEO was about $6 back in late or mid-July, and then it went obviously way up. But I mean, if you had the foresight to buy NEO anywhere below $1, I mean, you're freaking pretty rich. So good on you for that. But yeah, NEO previously was Ant Shares. If you've been around long enough for that, NEO was Ant Shares. And then it rebranded, crushed it, and did the whole damn thing. We hate you anyways unless you talk about XVG. I'm sorry, Ronald. You're only a Bitcoin expert if you're in a BConnect. So looking at these chats as much as possible. Such Moon, much Dogecoin. Somebody asked for the Pigeon ICO update. Yeah, it's we're hitting a couple speed bumps. I've had trouble gathering pigeons from the local pigeon farm. Until then, it's gonna be difficult. So I've had a little bit of a difficulty. Had a little bit of difficulty with the whole gathering pigeons for the ICO, but we'll see what ends up happening. So Devin mentioned, would you ever have interviews or discussions with crypto experts such as Ari Paul? I would absolutely be open to having interviews, discussions with experts in the cryptocurrency world. Like I said, I am not an expert. I would consider Ari Paul to be an expert. I would consider a lot of people in the cryptocurrency world to be an expert. My entire goal with this channel, with these videos, is to hopefully provide as much value to you guys as humanly possible, provide as much neutral commentary and as much education or as much, I don't know, discussion that is helpful. And I think having a conversation with somebody like Ari Paul would be very helpful for you guys. So I would really like to do that. That would be fantastic. If anybody knows Ari Paul, give him a shout out. Tell him we got 2,500 people on here that want to hear from him. So I would love to have a conversation with Ari. He had some fantastic comments on Business Insider, and I think gives one of the clearest definitions, one of the clearest explanations of the value of Bitcoin and of crypto assets. So I would love to speak to somebody of his stature, anybody really in that kind of level of stature. So, tell Ari what's up. Tell him we'd love to hear from him. Yaniv, great talk as always. Thank you. Silly question, I know. Do you think crypto is here to stay? E.g., will we all be here in a year and more people be getting involved? I personally do think crypto is here to stay. I do really, really no BS believe that. I wouldn't be putting all my time into this. I wouldn't be putting a lot of effort and a significant amount of my money into it if I did not believe that Bitcoin and other crypto assets were here to stay. To that effect, I do think that crypto is a new asset class. I think that is, it's a new asset class. It is something that people are going to invest in the future. As you're going to have a portion of stocks in your portfolio. You're going to have maybe a portion of bonds, maybe whatever, precious metals, whatever, and you're going to have a portion of crypto assets. Right now, people recommend 1 to 5%, whatever it might be, but I do think that you are going to have a portion of those in your portfolio at one time or another. So I do think it's going to be a new asset class, and it's something that is really, really important to that'll definitely happen. So taking a look at some of these questions here, Doge has been crushing it lately. Yeah, they definitely have been. It's been, Dogecoin has been absolutely through the roof. And I think too, so I talked about it before, but we talked about the potential irrationality of the marketplace as a whole. So we'll go to Poloniex. So, if you want to see the irrationality of the marketplace, you can simply look at like Dogecoin pumping. And then, is there any value to Dogecoin? I love Dogecoin. I love it. Like, Dogecoin was what got me into cryptocurrency. But is there really significant value there? Not really anymore. There hasn't been any updates to the GitHub in a long, long time. It's Dogecoin. But it's been pumping, and it's been pumping because crypto. Literally, like, if you're like, hey, why is Dogecoin pumping? Because crypto. That's why. That's exactly why. So it's something you got to consider, and it's something you kind of have to laugh at. So Matthew McCarty, what is up, my dude? Appreciate that super chat. Thoughts on the correlations between altcoins backed by big companies such as Stellar, IBM, IOTA, Microsoft, and their future in the market? I do think that. I do think that these cryptocurrencies are. Partnerships with big companies are a big deal. I think that people are buying into these partnerships and acting like they're a bigger deal than they probably are personally. But I do think that like there has to be a level of mainstream enterprise adoption for a lot of these crypto assets out there, whether it's Stellar, whether it's IOTA, whether it's Ripple, with these partnerships with the big banks, whatever it might be. I do think that that's something that there's definitely a correlation between the big back company, crypto assets developing partnerships with the big companies, but a lot of that, a lot of the times you have to be into that crypto before that they announce those partnerships if you're going to get a lot of a benefit from that whatsoever. Somebody said stock market crash. Does that money flow into crypto or leave both? I don't know if anybody can accurately determine that yet. I don't think there has been a specific correlation between the stock market and the crypto asset, cryptocurrency world yet. And I also think for the most part, the entire time that cryptocurrencies have been in a bull run, so has the stock market. Basically, there was the stock market crash in 2008 is pretty much the bottom of the stock market in the past almost 10 years. That was when Bitcoin was created. Both have basically been on a bull run ever since then. So I don't think that there's a real solid, accurate correlation there whatsoever. Somebody said, 4 Elements Fitness, thanks for the Cardano at 2 cents, brother. You're welcome. We have Cardano at where is my dearly beloved Cardano ADA? Cardano at 51 cents. So that ain't bad. We're talking about some pretty fat profit there. So 4 Elements Fitness, I appreciate that super chat. I hope you put a bunch of money into it and crushed it. That's awesome. Dean Taylor, thank you very much for that super chat as well, man. Very, very kind of you. So taking a look at some of these questions again as well. The market did not crash in 2008. So 2009. That's what I meant. 2008 kind of being the top, but 2009 was, you guys get what I'm saying, that range. Where do you see Cardano in 10 years? I mean, where do you see any cryptocurrency in 10 years? Anybody who tells you something specifically there is kind of full of crap. So I have no idea. I do think that Cardano has the team in place to potentially be very successful. So I like Cardano long-term for that. And I'm happy to put money into it because of that and keep my money into it because of that. Somebody said, Justin, clear poll opinion. Let's see if I can pull. So clear poll is fairly small in terms of the overall market capitalization. I mean, back in November, it was less than $5 million in market cap. So I'm going to be pretty frank, not something that was really on my radar as far as things go. Not something that I had a ton of insight into. I'd have to do a little bit more research on these guys to really give you any type of accurate information before I could provide much detail for you. Dwayne Scott, you got me into Cardano. Thanks, bro. Yeah. Not that that call was passed along to me from somebody else, so I'm just happy that Graco passed that along, gave me that type of information as well. So hopefully if you made money on anything, congrats, and I'm happy that there was some benefit to watching these videos. So somebody mentioned Coinbase pays fees when sent via GDAX. Why haven't they rolled out SegWit? Perhaps miners are paying them under the table to halt SegWit integration. I think that there's a lot of I don't want to speak on behalf of Coinbase. I do think that Coinbase does a good service to the crypto community. I also think that they might be slower to integrate new technologies. Obviously, SegWit has been updated and utilized across the board for a lot of other companies, a lot of other services. SegWit has not been activated for Coinbase. It's tough to say the reason. I don't know. Right now, Coinbase is basically saying that, like, hey, we can barely keep our website live when something like this is happening. And I mean, to be fair, not that it makes a difference, but look at the charts right now with Bitcoin Cash, like on GDAX. This is Coinbase. Like it's literally, we're looking at this and it's not moving. It's loading. So I don't want to say that they have bigger crap to worry about than SegWit, but maybe they actually do have bigger crap to worry about than SegWit, and they're trying to do both at the same time. And who knows? I mean, not that this extremely helps, but you go to the Coinbase careers page. Obviously, there's a lot of customer support stuff going on, but I mean, outside of that, look at the engineering positions that they're hiring. I mean, they probably have 20 software engineering positions open. Platform, payments, brokerage, all over the place. They have a lot of positions that they are, working on. Back-end engineers, full-stack engineers, trading systems engineers, kind of all over the damn place. So I would say that they're probably trying to work on it. I have no clue. Obviously, I would personally prefer that they run segregated witness and that they're able to, to roll it out. But who knows? So somebody said, are you addicted to cryptocurrency? Yes. Are you not? Is anybody here not addicted to cryptocurrency? I'm kidding. And guys, if you are new to the channel by any chance, hit the subscribe button, the little notify bell next to that. That'd be fantastic. I do daily videos on crypto as well as these YouTube live crypto happy hours a couple different times a week. There's no set schedule there, but I try to do them as much as possible. So hit the subscribe button, the notify bell there. Would definitely appreciate that. Bobby, do you hold any stocks? Yes, I do. So I mean, personally, the majority of my fiat currency was not initially invested into. The majority of my fiat currency is I still put. I mean, I'm a pretty normal conservative dude. I put 12% of my money into my 401k. I put a bunch of money a month into a Betterment account, a Betterment.com account, and invest that into 100% stocks. And then I basically take my leftover money into Bitcoin, into cryptocurrencies, into crypto assets. So I still put a lot of money into stocks. I'm not one of those people that says, hey, Bitcoin is the only thing on the planet that you should be putting your money into. Crypto assets are the only thing that you should be putting your money into. Would I have been way better off if I put all my money into, instead of I'd be a multi-millionaire if I put everything into, basically putting everything into cryptocurrency instead of the stock market in the past 4 years. I'd be a multi-millionaire, but it's always, hindsight's 2020. Everything's always easier said than done. So, yeah, who knows? Somebody said I look great for 47. Yeah, I mean, it's last week was my 47th birthday, so I really do appreciate all the kind words that everybody had said. It's really encouraging to hear that I look younger than 47. So thank you guys for that. I mean, it's very much appreciated. I mean, being born in 1970, sometimes it's tough on me. It's tough. I'm a young 47, right? You guys are gullible as all hell. You guys are way too gullible. Me being 47 is like saying BitConnect is a good investment. Come on, guys. I had too much fun with this stuff. Botox. Yeah, it's all Botox. It's Botox and vitamin B12, baby. My grandson just turned 3 years old. I was very proud of him. Awesome. Well, it is now. I've been rolling on this bad boy for close to 2 hours at this point in time. So I am at this point. I'm probably going to relax, maybe play a game of Call of Duty if I really want to go nuts. But I am not 47 years old. I'm actually 49. But I'm probably going to play a game of Call of Duty, World War II. Probably going to die a bunch. I have a terrible kill-to-death ratio, but enjoy myself. But I really do appreciate everybody's time on the YouTube Live. Thank you guys so much. I will have a video up tomorrow morning. So like I said, subscribe for that. All the videos as much as possible. But I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Crypto Bobby signing out. Peace.